Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
You want to check something out?
Hijacking your mind, one podcast episode at a time. This is the AudioVillains. Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with Jabberlog on the JCast, and I'm sitting here with Eddie, and we are the AudioVillains for episode number 31, and we are live on Spreaker, high atop of the In Garden Studios. What's going on, my friend?
Welcome back, Internet fellows.
That's right, episode 31, and this guy, during the intro, he was showing me this picture on his phone. Yeah, it's Friday, but it was kind of a throwback Thursday type thing.
Yeah,
And,
hell yeah, by far. Oh, shit.
What grade is that?
It's 1989 to 1990.
Holy crap. He just showed me a picture of his, I guess, it's what, your class?
Yeah, it's the class composite.
Picture. Yes. And
the teacher's not even in here.
no, I saw the principal in there.
Yeah,
Then
1989.
I saw my cousin in there as well.
1989. Hold on, let me think. That would be... Shit.
Man,
6th
89.
grade?
I was...
6th grade, I think?
No way.
5th grade.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep, because in 1990, I was in 6th grade.
That can't be.
Yeah, because in Fenville, you did 7th grade in the... Yeah, you did 7th grade in the little school, right? In the junior high? And then 8th grade in the high school, and 9th grade.
Right.
9th, and 10th.
Well, 1989, I was
Yeah,
only 8 years old.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm 35. In 1989, I would have been
32.
I'd have been.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah,
I was born in 1978, so I would have been 12.
Holy
So
cow,
this is 6th grade. Yeah, this is like 6th grade.
Wow, yeah, 5th,
Yeah.
6th grade.
This is crazy.
Holy
I see
crap.
so many people on here, dude.
I like
I'm
your mullet
holy
on
shit.
there.
Oh, dude, it was
Your
sick.
mullet is pretty awesome.
That was when I had hair, dude. It's all fucking black and luscious and shit. That shit's fucking
beautiful
killer.
hair.
Yeah, look, hair, beautiful hair. I mean, it's fucking crazy. I look at these people and I'm like, hey, I can't remember who this guy is. I think this is somebody. I don't remember his name.
You look like that.
I recognize everybody. I see one of my buddies, dude, who I haven't talked to in years, and we were best friends. Like, he was just this little geeky white kid, man, and we became really super good friends, dude.
Yeah.
And oh man, we were like best friends for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, and then he moved to Holland, and I still came and hung out with him and shit like
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah, it was like I would come on a Friday night and stay until Sunday night.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was badass, dude. We were really good friends, man. And then he moved to Vegas, and the last thing I heard about this dude was that he got he did some kind of aptitude test for the government, and they found out that he had like mad fucking like math skills and shit.
Really?
Yeah. So he started doing like probabilities or some shit. Yeah, he works for the government doing some crazy shit. Yeah,
That's nuts, man.
where he just like 6 months out of the year he's gone. He's just not around. And then for another 6 months of the year he's here, but he can't talk about where he was at or what he was doing while he was gone.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's got like a code name.
Word, right? He's like, I'm Special Agent Motherfuck you.
Whoa.
Yep. You're like, whoa. Did I forget about the awesomeness thing?
So, yeah. Well, no, the intro had the warning in there,
No, that's
so
right.
people know.
Told you, bitches. I
3
told you,
A's of
bitches.
podcasting. So, so during that time when you were in school, I mean, or all the people that you're looking at right there, is there people that ended up just becoming just another face in the hallway?
Like most of them. I mean, come on, dude. Were you still friends with the people that you were friends with in 6th grade?
Nope, I can't say so. No.
I mean, I
was
can
cool
look on
with
this.
everybody.
I can look on this,
And
I can see. I mean, Facebook friend, Facebook friend, Facebook friend, Facebook friend, Facebook friend, Facebook friend.
But do you talk to them?
No, not like personally. I mean, if they
Right.
say something, I might comment on something, but that's about it. Facebook friend.
So they become more of an acquaintance.
Yeah, really. I mean, but they weren't really friends in the first place. They were just people you kind of knew. I mean, there's a difference between being a friend with someone and being and growing up with them. So, like, I grew up with these people. I knew these people from the time I went to started going to Fenville schools. They were in my grades every year, so you get to know these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so by being around them constantly, I mean, because school is a large part of your growing up. I mean,
of course,
you're there. You're there. Just it's like a job. You're there 40 hours a week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you learn these people too, but sometimes you might not connect with them. You might not learn them. You might not know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the intricacies of everyone. And a friend is someone who becomes your buddy who you talk to about the other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this over here. Look at this person over here. It's like, oh, well, that's a weirdo. Yeah, they're not like us or anything like that. Everybody, yeah, nope. You know what I'm saying? I was a big fucking nerd in school, man. I was, I don't know, hillbilly white trash, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to call me. But it was, I mean, if you look in this thing, dude, I'm wearing a Eagle shirt. It's got a giant eagle. I think it was a Harley Davidson shirt.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
with your long,
me and my hog,
hair.
and shit. You know,
right?
Like, I think this might have been 7th grade, man.
You're a lot thinner there. I mean,
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, you weren't so fat yet. Ed, thanks, dude.
Your arms, your arms aren't as huge. You don't have your pythons yet.
My pythons. Yeah. Well, I'm a long ways away from pythons. That's for sure. But. You're right. I am a skinny little dude. I'm like, what the fuck happened to me? What happened? Where'd my hair go? I want my hair back. I want it back so bad.
You don't think you can grow it like that?
Dude, I just realized like probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That the back of my head, back of my head is balding too.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm like, no,
it's gonna remain shaved.
Dude, you know, it's like forever. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it took so much. It kicked me in my nuts. I was like, I laid in bed and like contemplated my mortality and shit. I was like, I'm gonna die someday, and it's all because I found a bald spot. I was like, I'm fucking old. I don't want to die.
I don't want to be remembered this way.
Right? I'm gonna shave it. I won't be remembered this way. I'm gonna go crazy. It was pretty. It was sad.
Oh,
I felt bad.
That's nuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the first time you notice a gray hair, you're like, what is it?
I know, dude. I have a gray hair in my mustache, but it's not the whole.
It's like
just one, but it's not the whole thing. It's the tip. It's like I have a frosted tip.
Yep.
Mustache.
Do you cut it?
Like, what the hell is going on?
Do you cut it?
I haven't yet. I actually do need to shave. I'm looking a little Wookiee-ish. But, crazy things, happen in school. I remember all the fights and stuff that would happen in school. And I remember there was one year that it got so bad that we had to have police waiting outside every time.
Oh, do you mean the stabbing incident that led to like a shit ton of fights?
I think so. Yeah, there's fights all over the place.
Okay, so
every day after
all right,
school.
I won't use names, but I'll explain this story. There was a party on one of the weekends where these people were at this one group of girls and this other group of girls, and they didn't like each other, supposedly, I guess. Well, while they all ended up at the same party. Well, somebody stabbed one of the girls. They didn't hurt her really bad, but they stabbed her. You know what I'm saying? And that spilled over into the school. And I remember that because I was walking down the hallway, and this guy, I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to say his name because our school's pretty small.
Right.
And I don't want to get slander. So I'll just say the first initial of his first name, Jay. Gets into a fight with these other dudes, D and J, another J, a different J.
And you can just give them give them fake names.
No, I'm fine because I'm too stoned to do that. I'll get sidetracked. And then, Henry had a brother whose name was Wilfred, and Wilfred was. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay,
back to the beginning. And so I'm walking down the hallway, and all I see is this one dude go, "Hey, what the hell?" I look and I see. I look down, and the other dude's like, these two dudes are fighting. And what I had put together was that a moment before that, the two dudes were trying to fight the one guy over this situation, and the one. He just grabbed him and threw him like a. I was like, "Oh man, it was crazy.
Whoa,
that was fucking awesome." I was like, "Whoa, that was kind of crazy." I mean, like really crazy. I remember that, and then that was the beginning of that week, where there was a fight, like every day before and after school, or no, during and after school every day for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I remember that shit. The cops would show up every day after school.
Mm-hmm.
And all that was like, I remember when we had these guys from Holland, dude. They came, they were in Holland, and they somebody had said something about Fenville, so this rivalry was all going on and shit. It's like, we're idiots. We're fucking all idiots, dude.
Right.
And then, so these dudes come down there and they're like, we're gangsters, man. We're going to roll down in there and get all you guys. And it's like, all right. So they roll. I don't think they expected to have like 80 crazy teenage dudes out there. And they like tried to drive through the middle of us, and we just crowded it in the car. The guy didn't want to run over anybody, so he stopped. And they started rocking the car like they were going to flip it over, man. These dudes were freaking out, man. Oh, yeah.
God, let's go.
They were screaming, dude, like girls.
Kentucky.
Yeah, we opened. We ended up letting them go and shit. And those were crazy times,
man.
dude.
That's
crazy
awesome.
times. Shit, I remember. I was supposed to get into. I had said something about somebody, and who knows, man? I probably did run my mouth. I used to be a cocky ass kid.
Uh-huh.
That led to a cocky ass adult.
I was say, like, you're not now.
Yeah, well, I'm not cocky.
You just like
I'm confident.
A lot of shit.
I'm confident.
There you go. It turns from cockiness to confidence.
And this dude was like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and I was like, okay. So what do you want to fight at? And he was like, let's go over here and fight. And I was like, okay. So I go over there, and dude pulled a knife on me. I was like, that's not cool. I was like, come on, man. I mean, throw the knife away.
Was
and
the outsiders?
Yeah, exactly. Throw the knife away, and like 3 or 4 of you can fight me. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Do it for Johnny.
It never happened. But somebody else showed up, and they were like, we're going to get you. And we all took off running because we didn't know who the fuck it was.
Wow.
Those were the days, man.
Yeah, I remember one time we were all, school had just let out, and a girl, she runs out and she tells the officers and the principal, they're fighting. They're all fighting in the gym. They're all fighting in the gym. So they all haul ass to the gym, and as soon as they haul ass, boom, the big old fight happens right in front of the school. Because I remember a couple of friends of mine and I were standing there, we're watching.
They were tricked.
Yeah, they were. They all ran in, man. All the teachers and everybody ran into the gym, and that was just enough time to get everybody in front of the school to start going at it. It was just boom, boom, boom. And then they run out, and everybody, whoosh, scattered. Like fucking roaches when they turn on the light.
they didn't even fuck around with calling like the teachers in towards. After a while, they just called the cops every time a fight broke out.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember there was a fight where one of the teachers, I won't say his name, but one of the teachers got clocked in the face. There was 2 girls that were fighting, and he came out of his room.
I think I remember this.
And he was trying to tell them to stop.
Yeah,
and
whack.
Just, man, one swing and biff, he got knocked to the to the lockers.
I seen some pretty decent fights in high school. They would just pop off too. You're like, dude, whoa! I just seen a fight on the way to class. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are the days, man.
Do you remember that one year that I don't remember which senior class did it, but it was the senior prank, and they sprayed pepper spray in the hallways?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh man, you might have been graduated already. Actually,
I might have been expelled that year too. There was a year where I was expelled.
Maybe that's the year.
There was a half a year I was expelled.
There was a class that they ended up. That was I'm pretty sure that was their senior prank. It was, and anybody who's listening to this,
stupid.
if you are a Fenvillian from our time, and
that's stupid.
Comment or something, because this whole thing's got a comment system where we can chat and everything too. But yeah, I remember going into class. And everybody's just coughing and coughing and coughing. I'm like, what's going on? So I go out of the class like a dumbass. And then I start coughing. Like, somebody sprayed pepper spray. Like,
that didn't make no sense. Those are the days, man.
Yeah, and crazy stuff used to happen all the time. And going into different classes. There was one prank I remember that was pulled on a teacher. And it was funny. It was a good one. I was sitting in front of the class. And every Monday, this teacher would have headline news, and we would have to watch it and take notes, and then there would be a quiz later on, and it was like clockwork. You know, we'd go in, and the TV would be there, VCR and everything else, and we would watch this stuff that this dude taped. Well, this one day he turns it on without looking at what's going to come on, and I look up, and it's a freaking porno, dude. They're just going at it. Yeah, just waka chicka waka chicka waka chicka waka. And we're like, what is this? And and the teacher comes around, and he looks, and his eyes about popped out of his head, and he turns it off, and he's like, ha ha. Oh, he's like, good joke. That was good. He actually took it as a good prank.
Yeah.
But he went off, dude. He went pissed.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Because his real tape wasn't produced. Nobody fessed up to it, and nobody gave him his tape back. I mean, it was enough to where he was throwing shit, and we're sitting in there like, oh my God, somebody give him his fucking tape back, man.
Yeah.
I remember we had like 8 different assignments that we had to do by the end of that class.
Oh yeah, he was
because
furious.
he was pissed.
I will kill you.
And it was funny as hell though, and big ups to the person who did it.
Whoever you may be.
Yeah, I know who it was,
Oh,
but I
we'll
won't
have to discuss
say.
that after
after
the podcast.
we're,
We don't want anybody getting in trouble. I'm
exactly.
suing you.
Yeah,
I'm suing you.
After all these
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
finally found out.
No, I cannot believe you're going to sue that person.
Yeah, if you look in the tile
Emotional
in the ceiling, you'll
yes.
find your tape.
He looks up there and he's like, "It's there. Fingerprint this." What? It actually tells him who did it.
It was really it was a good prank, but
I don't remember any pranks
the-
getting done. I remember the everybody threatening. Everybody's like, all the people I knew were like, "I'm gonna make some magic brownies, dude. I'm gonna stick them in the teacher's lounge and just be like, eat them. They're free." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, because they're not that fucking stupid.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
I mean, they're just dumbasses. Like, oh, look at fucking brownies, free brownies. I'm gonna eat. Oh, these kind of smell like weed, but I'm gonna eat it anyways.
Yeah,
That
they're
would still
wizard
would've been
brownies.
cool.
Gandalf made them.
Yeah, that still would have been cool. I remember my friend had gotten and called down to the office, and they thought they were going to get in trouble. So they're like, "Hey, Ed, here, eat this acid." And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Eat this acid." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So I put it in my mouth, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do with it?" They're like, saturate it and chew on it, and then swallow it once it's all like papery gone. And I was like, "Okay." So I did it, and then I'm sitting in class, and I was like, "I don't know what this shit's supposed to do, man." You know, writing on the fucking thing, and all of a sudden the room was like,
Hello, hello, hello.
Is there anybody in there? And I was like, what?
Fucking
I was
Pink
like,
Floyd. It's just
later algebra. Hey, great. Hey, Sphinx.
Oh man.
Whoa, later, dude. You know,
like, this class is
yeah.
awesome.
No, somebody behind me said something, and they were like, booger, and I was like, what? Oh man, no way, he said booger. Oh yeah, it was done, dude. I was done. I had to leave. I was like, I don't feel right. I gotta go, and I got up and left.
Oh
Yeah, I went down. I just left. I just went and sat at the car. I was like,
holy crap, dude.
I was fucked up, dude.
You're nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had to have people help me to all my classes after that. It was great.
See, I never
Ed,
did
you
anything
okay?
crazy
I'm
like
fine.
that. You're all doing spirit fingers.
Yeah, it's like,
this feels so funny.
This is look at. Did you see that? Watch. Whoa.
Yeah, no,
Those were the days.
I only got caught skipping class.
Oh.
That was my big thing.
Yep. Skipping class.
But
That's funny that you mentioned that.
I only got caught once. It was the very first time. After that, I was never caught again. I got smart. But that first time, so stupid.
Would you go to school?
Yeah, we went to school, and then we left before lunchtime.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it was
used to do that all
my
the time
cousins
in
and I
senior
and a friend of mine. And we took off, and my one cousin, the one who was driving and everything, he was saying, "Yeah, I need to go. Let's go visit my girlfriend at Holland High." I'm like, okay, so we go over there, and they had security guards there. I didn't know they had security guards, and we're sitting on the side of the school, and he comes out and he says, "What are you guys doing here? Shouldn't you be at school?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're out for lunch. We just we're coming over here." And my cousin says, "Yeah, I was just going to visit my girlfriend while on lunch." And he says, "You guys need to get back to school. What school do you go to?" And we said, "Saugatuck." They're like, "We go to Saugatuck High." "Oh, I'm going to call him. You guys wait here." Whoosh. Hauled ass, dude. So we take off, and we're going down. I don't remember what road it was.
They were like, knew you guys didn't go to Saugatuck. They were like, they were Mexican. They went to Fenville.
Yeah. But the one road that we were on over there by the school, there was 4-way stops everywhere. Yep. And we're talking and stuff, and the driver, my cousin, he's turned and he's looking. We're like, "Dude, watch out!" Whoosh, goes right through a 4-way. There was no cars. Luckily.
Yeah.
Well, he did it twice. He went through 4-way stops.
He's that panicked?
We're like, no, he just wasn't paying attention.
What an idiot.
And we're like, dude, we need to. Okay, we probably need to go back because this is not good. These signs are bad. We're like, let's go to BK really quick, get something to eat, and we'll go back to school. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I want to go to McDonald's. Like, we're closer. I mean, BK is like right here, and we're just a block away from it.
No, I want to go to McDonald's.
Like, no, I want to go to McDonald's. And it was that one right by the family fair in South Washington by the highway. And he says, we can just, go from there. I'm like, all right, man. So we go, and we're
Booyaka.
sitting there, and we're eating and everything. And you know how in this, pretty much every McDonald's has a huge window for the
you can
drive-thru.
see them.
Where we're sitting there, and we're laughing, having a great time. And I turn to the right, and right in line, right in front of us, is my parents. In that purple Cavalier that we used to have.
Oh, my Lord.
And they're sitting right there in line for lunch.
Are they looking at you?
No, they were laughing and having a good time, too. And I froze, dude. I'm staring. And my dad's got this big old smile, and then
He looks
smile,
right at...
He looked right at me, and he...
Boom.
Oh, my God, dude.
No!
His face went from being happy and everything, whatever conversation they were having, to you're gonna die. I'm
going to kill you.
I swear, I wanted to throw up all my food right there. And he just, all I hear is, he peeled out. And he took off. And I'm sitting there, and they're like, who was that? And I said, that was my parents. And my cousin says, run to the bathroom, hurry. I was like, why am I going to run to the bathroom? They already saw me. There's nothing I can do.
You're fucked.
So I'm just sitting there doing the freaking hand palm and everything.
Yeah.
And my mom is the one who comes in. So I knew I was dead for sure
because
she came in.
Yeah, because your dad is so mad that he can't come into this. He can't come in.
My God, dude. And so she comes in, and she says, what are you guys doing here? And my
because he's your cousin, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell my mom.
Yes, all of them were saying, are you going to tell our mom? And she said,
Of
yeah,
course.
that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to call her as soon as we get
No,
home.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna tell her.
Yeah,
no, it's
no,
okay.
You guys
boys.
are fine.
Bye. Here's $20.
My cousin, the one who's driving, he says, Tia, which is aunt in Spanish, Tia. He says, Tia, we were just coming out for lunch. We just left. It's fine. We're going to go back. No, you guys need to go right now. Rich, let's go. Your dad's in the car. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, right.
I just shit my pants, guys.
I just pooped. And so we take off, man, and I get in the car, and my dad doesn't say a word to me until we're about halfway back home.
Right.
And he says,
So he knows
what
you can't
the
jump out.
hell
You know you can't jump out of the car.
thinking? Yeah, exactly. And I said,
of
Dad,
speed.
we were just taking off to eat for lunch. And he says, anything could have happened to you. It was just going off, doing the father thing. And he says, you know what I have in the trunk right now? I said, I don't know. It's like a shovel?
It's a dead body. It's a Nando.
And, dude, he had bought me brand new rims for my Camaro and was going to give them to me that day.
Oh.
And he told me, and my fucking heart exploded. And I was like, no. And I said,
you, cousin.
I said, are you going to take them back? And he says, no, but you're not going to get them for a long time. Yeah. He says,
I would have put him up on top of the television, so you've seen him every day.
Oh, he put him in a spot. Yeah, he said he was going to put him in a spot where I could see them
every day
and know that I messed up. So I thought we were going home, but no,
we
go back to the school. I was like, all right. So we stop at the school, and I get off, and I said, I'm sorry and everything else. They're like, just get back to class. I was like, all right. Whoosh. Thank the Lord. Nothing else happened. Well, I'm walking into the school, and I notice that there's a second shadow by me. And I look to the right, and it's my dad. I must have been so freaked out and in a zone that I didn't realize my dad got off the car walking with me.
To make sure you went back to class.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm making sure you go back to class. And I said, all right. And for people who don't know, they changed the high school since we've been there, but you walk into the lobby, and right when you go through the lobby, you turn to the right to go to the cafeteria, and then to the left is the principal's office. Yep. And I walk right by the principal's office, and my dad stops, and he says, where are you going? And I said, I'm going back to class. And he says, no, get over here right now. I said, oh my God, you're not doing this. And people are already looking at me because it was just, lunch was just getting over.
Yeah.
And everybody's walking out, and they're like, what happened? I'm like, save me.
God save me.
Yeah, we walk in, and the secretary's like, hi, Miss Martinez. He's like, I need to talk to the principal. And they said, oh, okay, he's in there right now. So we walk in, and my dad sits down. And the principal says, hi, how's it going? And I said, hey. And I'm standing there in front of the desk. And he says, go ahead, Rich. Tell him what you did.
Shaking like a chihuahua.
I said, what? He's like, yeah, tell him what you did. And the principal looks up at me. And I said, my parents just caught me skipping class. I was in Holland. And he says, oh, well, you know what? It's very big of you to come and tell me that you did this. Thank you very much. Now go back to class. And I thought, this is awesome. So I go to turn around, and my dad says, that's it? That's all you're going to do? And he goes, oh, well, who else was with you? Shit. So
here starts. Yep.
Yeah, I had to say who was with me, and because my dad would have murdered me right there. I would have had no limbs. He would have ripped my arms off and destroyed me.
right in front of them. Screw beat a 911 dispatch guy. My arms would have been gone. You could have robot arms.
I could have been a cyborg.
Whoa. No, like what they come out, right? And your hands come out, and it's got multiple tendrils, so you can communicate multiple.
Oh, that would have been weird. But they ended up giving me 8 hours worth of detention, me and everybody else.
Oh man,
yeah,
8 hours.
Yeah,
that was like a year in high school time and shit, dude. Because it was 30 minute. You got a 30-minute lunch.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I mean, you had to split that up. That's 16 days,
in
dude.
the beginning of class, lunchtime, and after class.
Oh shit!
I found a way to get it done in that week.
Yep, I'm gonna do it all in 1 week. What? I'm gonna do it all in 1 week.
It sucked, dude. It was really, really bad. But after that,
do you ever end school suspension?
Smart. Yes,
in school suspension. Room?
Yeah, that was boring.
It was like the gulag in the fucking school and shit.
Yeah,
go drop this off at the in school suspension room. Oh shit, are you serious? Fucking go in the other room, put on your fucking riot vest and shit.
It was so damn cold in there, dude. Yeah, there was no vents in there. There was no heat, no nothing. It was freezing.
The monkeys would be hanging from the ceilings.
Yeah, and you walk in, everybody's like,
I feel like a predator's watching you and shit.
Oh man,
you're one ugly looking motherfucker.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I definitely got smart after that. I was never caught again, dude. It was enough to where I had down to the time, the scheduling of where my parents were going to be. I had different back road routes so that they wouldn't see me. Yeah, if I was on the main road or whatever. Oh yeah,
that's funny. My dad didn't give a shit whether or not I skipped, so it wasn't a big deal. But my wife got caught. They skipped like 13 days in a row.
Whoa!
Yeah, they got busted big time, man.
Nice.
They got shit, dude. Yeah, I remember. It's so fucking funny. And she tells me the story. She's like, "Oh, this," and I was, I mean, she's so. I'll have to get her on the podcast to have her tell the story, but it's
definitely have to get her on there. Yes,
it's funny.
There was when I was I had to have been a freshman in school, and everybody listening to this, you did a lot of crazy shit when you were in school. So this was mine. And I had to throw it on my buddy right away. Excuse me.
Oh, you got caught with a dick in your hand?
I can't. No, I got home, and my parents are sitting in the dining room. Actually, the tables in the dining room, they're kind of sitting on the table.
Yeah.
And next to each other, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh, what's going good? What's wrong?" We found this in your closet.
Marijuana.
And they moved apart. And there was this Grim Reaper
bong
sitting there.
Dude, do you know how I still have that somewhere? It's around here somewhere.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god. I remember dropping my bag and my bag with my books in it.
Yep.
I remember dropping my bag and looking at them, and they said, "What is this?" It smells like, and I said, that's, and I said my friend's name, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And,
we understand now.
And I said, "Yeah, he wanted to leave it here," which he did at the time. He wanted
but you were using it.
Yeah, we both were using it, and because I was like, "Try this." I'm like, "All right, cool." Yeah. Well, the next day at school, because my parents called his parents. The next day at school, I go into I got to school early, and he got there, and he's like, "Thanks a lot, asshole." And I said, "What?" And he says,
"Parents called my parents, dickhead."
He said, "You didn't think they were going to call my mom?" And I said, yeah, but, I figured that everything would be all right because you were getting into a lot of trouble at the time, so I figured it would be fine."
Oh, yeah, you fucking pussy. You should have took it like a fucking man.
It was like Foreman and Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
I put it on him.
Tim.
Yep. And...
shoot him in the eye with a BB gun.
And he, even when we talk about it now, he's like, it was fine because I didn't really get into trouble, but I knew that if you had taken the heat from it, you would have gotten your ass beat.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Thanks, man." So to this day, whenever we talk about it and joke about it, I'm like, yep, that's
so
what happened.
It's like, no, you're not. He's secretly plotting your death. He's like, "One of these days, I'm
going to break your kneecaps.
I'm going to break your neck.
Yeah, those were
curb stomp you."
Those were good times, man, in school.
They reminisce, think about the days of yesteryear. Yes, it is nice. It's fun, dude. I remember riding BMX bikes everywhere.
Oh, did you have the pegs?
Everywhere, dude. No, I never had pegs. I just had a really dope BMX bike.
Nice.
We would ride the bitches everywhere.
You had a gang?
Yeah, dude. Me, Jason, and Alikio.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
We would ride all over the place, dude. And then it was a couple other dudes for a while, but then after a while, all my friends were like are doing other things. So,
dang. Now I remember when I used to run track, and there was one track meet in Martin, and the school. I thought they would leave the school open.
Yeah.
And if we ever had to use the restroom or anything, well, because my parents were at every meet, every game, or whatever I was doing. They brought my dad brought me this big ass thing of Gatorade, and I had a mile relay. It was the very last thing that I had to run. Well, during the time I was waiting till this race, I drank the whole thing.
Oh,
and when it came up to time, I had to go bad, dude. I mean, it was bad enough to where my waist, my stomach was hurting.
Ooh.
That I had to go.
Yeah,
I had to piss.
I gotta piss.
Yeah. And they're like, you got to line up right now. You got to line up. I was like, I can't. I got to piss right now. And they're like, well, go right there. The right there that they were pointing at was a whole open area. There's no trees. There's no nothing. I was like, you kidding me? I was like, I'm going to go to the school. So I hauled ass running to the school. And at that point, I'm like going back and forth, moving side to side because I'm in pain. And I get to the school. The doors were locked. They were locked, dude.
No.
So I run back. And by the time I got back, it was my turn to run. I ran the race.
With a full bladder?
With a full bladder, dude. I hauled ass. I even think we might have actually set a record that time. Yeah, and we finished. And I remember there was a dugout right by where the buses were.
You went and pissed in the
I
dugout?
went over there to go piss, and around the corner was coming a school. Or a group of people from a different school, and they looked at me, and because I was just about to drop so that I could piss.
Yeah.
Nope. I was like, oh my God. I turned around. They're like, come on, get on the bus already. I rode the bus from Martin back to Fenville with that full bladder.
No way.
Yes.
No way. I'd have pissed into a container.
I had my head down because I remember
the pain.
My girlfriend at the time was sitting with me, and I remember she was rubbing my back.
It's okay,
baby. She's like, you'll be okay.
You'll be all right.
And I'm sitting there, I was like, oh my God, dude. I was emotional enough to where I was almost crying.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And when we finally got there, I made sure that I was the first one out of the bus, but I was walking hunched over.
Yeah, because it was hard to stand up.
yeah, dude. Oh my God. And then I get to the bathroom and I go, and then I can't go.
Yeah, because your bladder's so full. It's
I got like stage fright. I'm like, come on. I had to turn on the water so that I could actually go. And then finally I was like, oh.
Oh, man, is that one of those ones where it's like you're peeing and you're like, oh, okay. All right. Okay already. What the hell? Where's all this water coming?
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
It's like a fucking camel.
Finish already.
Yeah, it was definitely like
then it gets to the end, it's like, chip, 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 chip. Chip, 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 chip.
It was like, just stop. Oh, dude.
Chip, chip, chip,
it was,
chip.
oh, God, it was bad. I'll never forget that, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah, those
That
are the worst. Dude, you're like,
so
where is all this
bad.
urine coming from?
Yeah, it was
It
harsh.
starts off like major green and yellow and shit like that, and then by the time you're to
From
the
all
end,
the
it's,
Gatorade.
by the time you get to the end, it's all fucking clear, super clear.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
completely detoxed.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, man, my kidneys are really clean right now.
Oh, man.
Nice, dude.
Talking about school and everything, I wanted to segue into this documentary that my wife and I saw the other day, and it's called Bully.
Yep.
Have you seen it?
The Bully documentary?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. It's on Netflix.
Yes, dude, you've got to see it, man. It's crazy. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember bullying being like that when we were in school.
The train.
I mean, I remember there were some kids that got picked on, but not as bad as it was in
We
this.
come from a small school though.
That's true. This school
what I'm
is a little bigger in this documentary,
I mean,
and it follows a bunch of different.
What were the total
kids.
of ours? What was the total kids in our school at any given time? 300.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know.
We weren't a very big school. I mean,
our
my graduating class
was
was like
like
64 kids, 63 kids.
Mine was like 50, 48 or 50.
You see what we're saying?
But there's they've got some of the scenes in there, and I'll make sure to put the trailer up on the post as well. But you definitely got to see this. This is crazy. It begins with this family that's talking about their son who, when they came home, they found him hung in his closet. He was 17 years old, but from like elementary on up into high school, he had been picked on like really bad. And I mean, the way they talked about him and the way he looked, it seemed like there was nothing wrong. There was just people who picked on him. But it got really, really bad.
Yeah.
They said that with the last few days before he did this, that there were bigger guys that were slamming his head into lockers.
And nobody stopped it?
No, nobody stopped it or anything. And there's this other kid who I believe he's either 12 or 13 in this documentary. And he says, yeah, kids call me fish face, but, I laugh about it, and he gets abused enough by other students that he kind of takes it like that's what friends do.
Yeah.
And it's freaking sad, man. But they show footage. They have the filmmaker, he's in the back of the bus, and he's showing, him riding the bus. And there's kids that are just punching the shit out of his arm or his back. And there's these high schoolers that are punching him too. And there's one that even strangles him. He's just choking him. And they show a close up of the bus driver looking up into the mirror at them, and then just continues driving. Nobody ever does anything.
What? Wait, why?
There's no reason.
No. Someone is getting bullied. Someone's getting. See, I'm of the I teach my children that, or I try to teach my children that when you see someone bullying someone, you've got to intervene because that's not acceptable.
Right.
Now, there are times when that person's going to want to intervene. They're going to want to turn it on you, and you have to be able to look. I'm helping this person, and if you attack me, I'm sorry for you. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I can't count that. I remember there was a kid on the bus who was picking in these one kids, and he was making them cry, and they had these two dudes crying, man. And my buddy was like, he goes, man, go back there and say something to him, Ed. And I was just like, fuck that, I'm gonna. And I got up and I went back there and I just said, man, you need to sit the fuck down before I beat your ass. This little kid started crying. The bully started crying. Uh-huh. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's how they're showing to convey there's no fine print put on, or there's no fine point put on the fact that these children are damaged, right? This is they're showing this from their parents. This is how that their parents deal with things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I luckily for me, my wife is so well rounded, and she helps show. I mean, I barrel through things. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big dude, and my idea to solve things is, okay, well, I can punch you in the head. I mean, come on, I can do that really well. But that doesn't solve things. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I mean, there are situations where that's needed, but there are situations, a lot of times, 90% of the time, that's not needed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she's forced me to like really think about reevaluating. It's like, okay, I want to. My initial reaction is to freak the fuck out and want to hit things. No, think. Okay, now my brain's working. Now my brain's working. It overrides the other thing. But what I'm trying to say is that we're not teaching our children to intercede for these things. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? I would hope that if my son is around something like that, and if I've ever found out that he was being a bully, I'd kick his fucking ass myself. That he would intervene and stop someone from doing that, because that's just not unacceptable. Look, man, just because you don't like this kid means you got to pick on him and bully him and shit like that. That causes people to kill themselves. That like what you said,
right?
That causes. But why is this person picking on this person? You know, why do you feel so inadequate that you've got to take out your aggressions on this little person?
Right.
And that's unacceptable. And it's just as a society, as a whole community, we need to say, look. If you see that occurring, it needs to be addressed immediately. An adult in the situation should have lost their job.
Right.
If adult, I mean, I'm a child who was literally like, the system just constantly fucked me every which way but loose. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And as the system doesn't work, that system is overtaxed and underprepared. Society needs to be able to say, hey, look, that's unacceptable. And your child says, look, hey, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? So, but the problem is that nobody wants to be the first person to stand up, and that we need, as men, as men of today, we need to make our children be the people that say, hey, I'm going to be the first person to stand up and say, this is wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is unacceptable for you to treat. I can't count on both of my hands how many times I stood up for people like that. the people who people had deemed retarded are unable to and they were easy targets for people, and then it's like, look, that's unacceptable because this person is lesser than you. I mean, and it's an unfortunate thing. There are people who are lesser than. There are people at that time they were called retarded. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't know that they were just it was a mental thing, or we didn't understand how it was a mental thing. And nowadays you taught that shit like at an early age that this person's different and all this stuff, but we don't address this situation of where this is the only way this child knows to get rid of. I mean, it took me years of therapy to understand that I didn't have any other emotion but pissed off. I would get happy and I'd get mad about it. Really? Because I was happy and I didn't know how to deal with that, so I would just turn it to anger. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy, really odd. Dude. It was really odd, and it was just because I was so always expecting it to turn bad really fast. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just one of those things, and it took years and years.
Trying to get ahead of it, then.
Yeah, well, I would but automatically, I didn't know how to express any other real emotion but anger, being mad all the time. These kids, the bullies are as much to like they need to be taken and saying they're victims too, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unfortunately, they need to be pulled aside. They need to be and asked, like what we're going to get to the bottom of why you're being this way, and that's a viable solution to these things, because every one of these cases, I mean, bullying. It's not just the kids, dude. Do you remember when that lady bullied that girl? She went on Facebook and created a fake Facebook page.
Oh yeah.
She bullied that little girl into killing herself.
Yeah, she killed herself.
Yeah, and then it came out that it was this lady that was pretending to be dude. And they ran this lady out of town. The society said that was. The society of that area said that is unacceptable. What you did was unacceptable, and they forced her to leave. They made her feel so unwelcome in that town that she had to leave to feel a sense of life again, Right. It's like, well, that's what we need to do to bullies. They need to be felt like, look, okay, so you want to be a bully? Well, there's a bigger bully than you. You know what I'm saying? And sooner or later, you're going to run into that bigger bully, and you're the bully. Now you're bullied.
Yep.
And now you know what you've done this whole life and shit. And oh man, dude, bully. But the situation too is we're not teaching our children that they can defend themselves. When my personal belief is. Like my son had actually asked me, we had seen something, and this lady had spit on this other lady, and it was on I think I was watching a video or I was in a movie or something, and he was telling me that he wouldn't know what to do, and it's like, well, I mean, in a situation where somebody spits on you, I guess it's acceptable to hit them. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just, I mean, it's one thing if it's an accident, but if they holler off and like spit a loogie in your face and shit, I mean, that's unacceptable.
That's it.
I mean, that's really shitty.
Right.
That something would denigrate to that position, but now it's defense. I mean, my defense kicks in and says, all right, well, you know what, you spit in my face, dude. That's unacceptable. You just. Monicum of my respect is that you must defend yourself, good sir. But when somebody hits you, when they lay hands on you in a harmful way, you have every right to defend yourself against this person. Every right. I will defend both of my children to the day I die on that subject. If my children won't go and hit somebody, but they will fight back if they get hit. Do you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And that's just how it's like. Look, well, you're supposed to be the bigger man. No. This person's parents should have taught them well enough to not hit other children. Right. And when they hit somebody, when you hit someone, I mean, if I go out and start hitting someone, they're not going to just sit there and take it. They're going to fight back.
Exactly.
Right? It's just...
or at least you would think so.
Well, exactly. I mean, I feel bad if I started hitting somebody because the chances are you're going to get hurt. Stop hitting me, sir. Sir, I said, stop hitting me, sir. Stop it. Yeah, exactly. But the situation is that we, as a society, need to teach that, look, you don't hit and you won't get hit. Right. Okay, fine. That's not an acceptable thing to do because we need to be more civilized. Our hardwiring is that of hardwiring from hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, and it still tells us that we're still monkey in the middle. You know what I'm saying, dude? I mean, there are primal instincts kicking with that type of shit, dude. I mean, I get when I see my kids get upset, I get upset, or when it's like my wife the other day. This is how I told her. She started crying because she thought I was upset I couldn't go see a movie. And I was like, well, why are you crying? And she's like, I don't know. And it's like, well, that's love, dude. That's a connection because she loves me so much that she thinks my feelings are hurt. So she cries. That's sweet as fuck, dude. Right? And so it's the same thing with your kids. You don't want to fucking get all that you see them get hurt and you're like, I'm going to kill somebody. I mean, I don't know if you've gotten to that point yet, but somebody hurts your kid. Wait until Lola gets older, dude, and the boy breaks her heart. You're going to be like, oh my God, I've never seen Rich so mad.
Why do you got to bring that up? Now I'm going to be thinking about that shit. Way to go, dude.
Yep. Our Logan, somebody picks on Logan and he comes home and he's like, oh, this boy said this and it really hurt my feelings. And you're going to be like, I'm going to go slap the shit out of that kid.
Oh,
it's your initial reaction.
Happened.
Your initial reaction is like, I'm going to go slap the shit out of the kid. And then your conscious brain goes, that's unacceptable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't fight his battles for him, but you can hope that you can give them the abilities to fight their own battles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And luckily for me, I have Atreyu who can fight Giselle's battles for her. And I also they both have the quickest fucking wit, dude.
Nice.
We noticed it last night. Melissa said something. We were saying something. He goes, yeah, right. And Melissa was like, Jesus, man, these kids, they're just smart asses. And I was like, yeah, that's my fault.
About a year ago, Logan, I went to pick him up from school, and he just seemed kind of down.
Yeah.
And I said, "What's wrong, buddy?" And he said, "These couple of kids were hitting me." And I said, "What?" And I said, "Why? What happened?" I said, "Nobody said nothing. Did you tell a teacher?" And he said, "Well, they were picking on this other kid, and I was helping him out."
Right.
So he was standing up for this
yeah.
other kid. And I said, "That's good, buddy. That's really good that you did that." And I said, "Did you tell the teacher?" He says, "Yeah, I told the teacher. They got in trouble." He's like, "But, they were picking on him, so I went over there and told him to stop."
That's
And
good.
I was like, "Well, good, man. That's awesome."
You're showing him that he has to stand up for people.
Yeah, and in that documentary when they're highlighting this kid on the bus,
yeah,
it stops. It goes to black, and it's just writing, and it says that it started escalating so much that the filmmaker stopped filming and needed to show the footage to the school and the parents. And the parents were like taken back because they didn't know. And
where do these
never
kids learn
told
this from? Where do these kids? They're learning that it's acceptable to do this to someone from someplace, and like, oh well, kids will be kids. Kids are.
That's exactly what the principal told them.
No,
they showed the meeting, dude.
It's up to us to show them that that's not acceptable. Hey, look, you want to hit somebody? Then you should expect to get hit back, and the kids should have every right to defend themselves. And I can't say that every cause is going to be justifiable, but you're gonna when you stand up to a bully, they tend like somebody hits you and you hit them back, and they're like, oh, you're gonna fight back. Well, I'm going to move on to my next target. And it's like, look, that's unacceptable. Just because I fought back doesn't mean you can move to somebody else. I'm going to fight you with, and you go to fuck with them too.
Right.
And after a while, these people learn that, look, I can't go around and my social outwardness can't be just bullying everyone. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, well, the parents, they end up going to the principal, and they're filming the whole interview.
Yeah.
Yes, the principal says that, boys will be boys, things happen. And I've been on that bus. And they were good as gold.
Well, yeah, because you're on the bus.
Exactly. And Becky and I looking at each other and like, she doesn't care. She really doesn't care. Even
she's
after watching,
she's got to appease everybody. She's afraid she's going to get in trouble for taking a stance on something.
That's the way she is throughout the whole documentary. This principal does not do anything.
No, she can't, dude. It's not that she can't. She won't do anything. She can't do anything, man. Her hands are tied by the district and the superintendent, and she's got to play it like a political game. Okay, because she wants to keep her job, right? She can't just say, yes, that's unacceptable. Those boys will be punished immediately. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, she has to, she doesn't want to piss their parents off because their parents might know somebody who can get her job gone. And it trickles down to the whole political. Have you seen Waiting for Superman?
No, a lot of people have been talking to me about that. They said
there's the perfect example of this lady came in, dude, and she reinvented the learning process. In schools and wanted to they had an increase in their single school like 42% on their grades. Like the classes started doing way better, man. And they wanted to institute it in district, and the district said no. So she brought it to the state, and the state said no. She brought it to the federal level, and the federal level said no. And she couldn't figure out what it was. And you know what it was that fucked up her learning thing for these kids to learn a lot better and have better access to jobs because they're higher educated individuals?
What?
The adults.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That once you involved the adults in it, the political process game kicked in, and it was about whose hand can wash whose hand, and it's ridiculous. You get frustrated, dude. You want to shake these people to death because why shouldn't every kid be able to learn? If something works, then it works.
Right.
You should be able to teach it everywhere, and so that all the kids can learn from the same thing, and they can all kind of get the betterment of learning quality. And no, well, we're just gonna do it here because we need to make sure that they stick strictly to the book over here. And it's like, this is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Dude, that sounds nuts. But if you end up watching that, or anybody who's listening, if you end up watching Bully, get ready to get kind of emotional. There's another family that they talked to. Their 11-year-old took his own life.
Oh,
because of bullying, and they end up doing this rally, and it's what is it? Stand Up for the Silent, I think is what it's called. This group that this family, they started on Facebook, and it took off. You know, they're having these rallies and everything, and they've got all of these seats lined up with balloons.
And people have killed themselves.
Yeah, they're the kids that have killed themselves because of bullying, and they say their names, and then they let the balloons go off, and they do it for every single person. Dude, I was sitting there covering my face because I was bawling.
Yeah,
man.
you don't for somebody to see you crying.
Yeah, and Becky too. She was crying and stuff, and it's sad, you know, that it gets to that point. And
bullying is a natural part of life,
dude. I like I said before in the beginning, I don't remember it being that bad.
Where were these people? Where were these children that killed themselves? Where were their parents at?
Well, see, and that's the thing. Their kids, the kids weren't telling.
Yeah,
the parents never knew.
No, the kids will tell
know.
if they feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to. You have to make it so that your child understands that. Look, I got a lot of life experience, man. And you might not want to. You might not want to listen to what I got to say, or not do what I have to say, because you're going to learn no matter what. But why not hear my story? Because maybe you'll glean some information from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we don't have that. We have this authoritative, authoritative, like, military type structure to your family. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm the father, I'm the one that's in charge. Don't talk to me, and I make the rules. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not how it needs to be. It needs to be an open communication where,
exactly.
Look, this is what's going on in my life, and I don't know how to deal with it. Okay, so when I was your age, you know, I had this situation occur, and this is how I dealt with it. You know, and unfortunately, these are the consequences that I had when I dealt with it. But I think about it now, and if I had better thought process at that time, this is how I would have dealt with it. And maybe that'll help you.
Right.
But that's not how it works anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good documentary.
Yeah,
so
check it out.
If you or anybody listening right now, if you get a chance, make sure to check it out. It's called Bully, and if you have Netflix, you can watch it. It's on there. We just watched it the other day. It's about an hour and a half long, but it's a really good documentary. But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask if you've seen about the internet TV.
Internet TV?
Yeah.
What's
in Atlanta? They're going to launch it.
What?
Yeah, or it's the television. All the stations are available via internet.
No way.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, taking on the big cable companies,
yeah,
huh?
dude. It's called Eros or some shit like that. But that's the way to do it, man. I mean, seriously, why not make everything look a certain amount? Like, for this channel, you got to pay this month, or you can get 30 channels and you pay this much a month. You know what I'm saying? And you just pick and choose your channels from this certain selection and this certain selection. I think that's
try to take away from Netflix,
dude. Well, I mean, Netflix seems to be the way. Again, it's the streaming via the internet when the person wants to watch it.
Right.
Not when because I mean, binge watching. How often do you just go and watch like 4 or 5 episodes of something?
Of course.
Yeah,
no,
it's the
there
best,
was
dude.
an article that was talking about how Netflix created the new couch potato.
Yeah,
with binging.
You sit down like to relax on a Sunday, and you watch 4 or 5 episodes of fucking Arrested Development or something like that, and you're good to go.
And
you're
now
like,
that show's coming back on Netflix.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. They're the ones that might be bringing back. Damn it! What was the other one? We just talked about 24 coming back before the show.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because NBC has the fall lineup has been released, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC.
That's right.
Yep, that looks pretty good. That's that Joss Whedon. He's the guy who did Avengers and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is he related to Will?
Yeah, no, he's not related to Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. What else was there? There was a couple other ones that were really interesting. Now they got a Dracula one.
Really?
Coming out on NBC. Sleepy Hollow, a modern retelling of Sleepy Hollow.
Interesting.
Where somebody resurrects the spirit, the demon that is the Sleepy Hollow Headless Horseman, and Ichabod Crane gets resurrected too.
What?
Yeah, because he's the only one who can kill him. He's the one who originally killed him.
Why don't they just get like Simon Belmont?
I don't know, dude. Oh, that'd be sick, dude. Almost Human, a cyborg cop with a non-cyborg cop.
So is this
in the
like
future.
is this like RoboCop?
No, well, he looks like a cyborg. He looks like a human,
Uh-huh.
except for he's a cyborg.
So he's a Terminator?
Yeah, kind of. I am a cybernetic organism over a living metal endoskeleton.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Yeah, excellent. I just watched 130 Arnold Schwarzenegger, greatest Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes. Shit, get down, get that bullshit. That's all it was. That's all it was
Just
get to the chopper. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Yep.
Man.
Stick around.
I have to do a
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
soundboard of you.
Dylan. I do that. There's a trainer at the gym. I'll be lifting weights and I'll see him out of the corner. We're like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And he just hear him go. He goes, ah, ha, ha, ha. He starts laughing. It's the greatest dude.
Big cigar.
No, he doesn't have a cigar. He turns around and then he
grabs
his arm and he fucking starts they start like arm wrestling in midair. Him and Carl Weathers. What's the matter? Remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh yeah, dude. There's a video game out called Blood Dragon. Far Cry 3. It's a downloadable content. And I guess it's like the whole game is just homage to 80s action movies, and they play the music from when they're in the helicopter getting ready to drop in Predator.
I don't even know what. I can't remember what the music
dude,
is.
it's really crazy, yeah. And then it's just cool, dude. It looks like
that's awesome. Well, on that note,
we're out.
We are going to wrap up episode number 31. Now, before I go through my regular wrap up, I want to mention that we now have up on the JabberlogStore.com.
Oh shit!
The official T-shirt for the AudioVillains. Now, I'll make sure to end up posting a picture and everything up and the links and stuff. But help us out, man. All the proceeds go to the show. So the equipment cost loot and stuff. So
yep.
all the money from the T-shirts goes straight to the show. We don't get any loot or anything. It goes to the show. So make sure to check out the JabberlogStore.com and get your official AudioVillains T-shirt.
And take a picture and send it. Tweet it to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take a picture and send it so we can start up our fan album with the shirts and stuff. That'll be awesome. We're going to have to get a shirt to send to... You were talking about
Joe Rogan.
That's right. Yeah.
Shit, man, screw that. I'm going to take a shirt to him next year.
There you go.
When he comes to the Chicago.
Hand it to him.
I'm like, good sir. I would like to present you with a shirt.
Hell yes.
AudioVillains.
So, as always, if you have any questions, anything at all for us, or if you want to be on the show, you can email us, thejcast@jabberlog.com. You can follow us on Twitter at AudioVillains or at Jabberlog, and everything will be posted up on thejabberlog.com. Have a good one, everybody.
Good day, sir.